Today, we're going to do something really cool. We're taking an incredibly detailed, high-impact makeup look and breaking it all down into clear, understandable stages so you can see exactly how it's done.
I mean, you see these amazing looks online and you just think, how? It seems like pure magic. But the truth is, behind every single jaw-dropping look, there's a meticulous, step-by-step process.
And that's really the secret sauce. It's not about some unobtainable magic, it's all about technique. These are deliberate, learnable skills that build on top of each other to create something truly spectacular.
All right, let's dive in. We're going to deconstruct this stunning glitter cut crease by the artist Kita Beauty from start to finish. And you might think we'd start with the glitter or the shadow, but nope, it all begins with the frame of the entire face.
First up, Section 1, Sculpting the Perfect Brow. And that subtitle says it all, the frame for the masterpiece. Seriously, think of the eyebrows as the architectural frame for the painting you're about to create. Getting this part right is absolutely crucial.
So the artist follows a really precise 5-step method. First, she outlines, then fills, and then blends it all out to create the basic shape. But then, she sets the actual hairs in place with clear lash glue and uses concealer to literally carve out those final razor-sharp edges. It's genius.
And here's a real pro technique for you. The artist doesn't just use one color. She uses a black pencil for the tail of the brow to get that deep structure, but then switches to a dark brown at the front using these light, hair-like strokes. This is what creates that beautiful, natural-looking gradient. And don't just take my word for it. The artist herself emphasizes just how critical this is. She says the brows are one of the most tedious steps, and she really takes her time to get them as crisp as possible. So, the lesson here? Patience on the brows pays off for the entire look.
All right, let's move on to the eyes and see how this all builds up. Now that the brows are perfectly framed, it's time to create the canvas for that dramatic cut crease. This next part is all about building depth and dimension.
Before any color even touches the lid, the artist applies a white concealer base and makes sure it's spread evenly across the entire area. This one simple step is the secret to making those eyeshadow colors pop and look true to how they appear in the pan. An even base really does equal an even application.
The eyeshadow isn't just applied randomly. It's used to create a literal map. First, a light transition shade goes on. Then, a darker powder to deepen the crease. And finally, a deep brown shadow is used to draw the exact shape of the cut crease. This drawing is going to act as a guide for the next step.
And, just in case you're new to the term, a cut crease is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a technique that uses a super sharp line to define or cut the crease of the eyelid. It creates this really cool dramatic contrast and makes the eye look incredibly defined.
And this is where all that mapping pays off. With that eyeshadow blueprint perfectly laid out, the artist just has to trace over it with a brown liquid eyeliner to create that signature, sharp line. There's no guesswork needed. It's so smart.
Okay, now for the main event, the glitter. And listen, this isn't just one layer of sparkle. This is a multi-layered, textural masterpiece designed for maximum visual impact.
The whole process starts by applying clear lash glue right over that eyeliner line to act as an adhesive. Then, the first textural element goes on. Individual crystals are carefully placed right along the line. After that, chunky glitter is used to fill in all the little gaps between them.
But it doesn't stop there. For even more detail, smaller white crystals are layered on top of all that. And for the final touch, tiny gold leaf flakes are pressed into any remaining spaces, adding yet another layer of texture and reflection. So, what makes this so incredibly show-stopping? It's the complexity of the layers. You have this amazing mix of large crystals, chunky glitter, small crystals, and delicate gold leaf all working together. It creates this rich, dimensional texture that just catches the light in a breathtaking way. With the eyes complete, it's time to perfect the rest of the canvas. The goal for the face makeup is to be flawless and supportive, complementing the dramatic eyes without ever competing with them. The eyes are the star of the show.
For foundation, the artist shares a key tip. She says she likes to use taping motions with a dense brush and a light hand. This technique helps blend the product seamlessly into the skin without creating any creasing or harsh lines. It's all about that gentle press. And check this out. The artist doesn't use just one setting powder. She uses 4, and each one has a very specific job. There's one to lighten the brows, one to set the under-eye highlight, another to set the contour, and a final one for everything else. Talk about strategic and precise.
We're at the final stage. These are the touches that are going to unify all the different elements and bring the entire look together into one cohesive masterpiece.
And of course, the lips are just as detailed as the eyes. It starts with an unconventional liner, a cream foundation stick. Then it's filled in with liquid lipstick and finally topped with not one, but 2 different glosses for the ultimate dimension and shine.
To tie the whole eye look together, the lower lash line is smoked out with a bit of brown eyeshadow. And the final step, a spritz of rosewater setting spray to melt all the powders together and lock everything in place for a truly flawless finish.
And there you have it. We've gone from a clean, prepped face all the way to this finished work of art. This just goes to show you that nothing is random. Every single step, from the first brow pencil stroke to the final spritz of setting spray, has a very specific purpose.
So what this really shows us is that this kind of complex artistry is often just a sequence of well-executed, deliberate steps. It's not magic, it's a method. So the question is, now that you've seen the process broken down like this, what will you be inspired to create?